wanted to provide the board an update on the comprehensive operational analysis, what we're calling the S Vision 2032. I definitely wanted to thank Angela Swanson on the StanRTA staff, who's done a lot of work in this area, and I'll go through a little bit of that today, and she may jump in as well to provide some comments. So the S Vision 2032 is our plan to look at all the routes and see what we can do to improve them to make it easier to ride the bus around the county. The project milestones to date, we've developed some alternatives to the routes, which I'm going to show off today. Those alternatives have been informed by several different things. The board approved some service guidelines in June. We did on-board and online surveys in April and May. We received some great information there. We did an existing conditions report, which the board also reviewed in May or June, and then looked at cell phone data to see where people are moving to and from throughout the county. The goals of this project was to integrate the former START and former MAX routes into a cohesive network, to get more people on the bus, to look at all the routes, making sure that there's equitable distribution between urban and rural, and low-income and minority communities. We want to make sure that the service is right-sized for our area as well, and to right-size the demand response system as well, including the ADA paratransit system. So just some building blocks of the new system. We're looking at routes, making sure that they're going in the right places, and if they're not, to restructure them, to expand service at underserved areas. Looking at a transit hub in series. Improve the frequency of the bus and the days of the week it operates, add bus stops in such several communities, and do an outreach plan to get people aware of the bus system. So we did a lot of community input in several different ways. We did some focus groups. Angela conducted those focus groups in our Spaghetti Bowl, which we're calling, which is in West and South Modesto, which we're calling the Spaghetti Bowl of bus routes. So we got some great information there from people who ride the bus and how the bus system can really work for them. We did briefings with local government staff at most of the cities in the county, which was great information. We attended and presented at the Empire and Salida MAC meetings. We had multiple pop-up events at the Transit Center right here in downtown Modesto, but also at the Vintage Fair Mall. We did community outreach meetings, so open houses at different places throughout the county. We had a booth at the fair in July. We did an online outreach session as well for those that couldn't make it in person, which is great. And we've done some presentations at various city council meetings and the Board of Supervisors. So some of the proposed system alternatives, we're looking at implementing Sunday service on all routes, improving route frequency on certain routes, eliminate low-performing and redundant service, looking at some new routes. We're going to go through that here in just a minute. Pilot some Barth commuter service on the weekend, improve the connectivity with Turlock, and then improve and restructure our demand response service. So this is just a map of what we're looking at for today. But I'm going to zoom into a few different areas. So first off, we're going to go to series. So this is the proposed route structure for series. Right now, the routes don't work well. It's a very spaghetti bowl-ish part of our route system that hasn't changed much. And so these routes have changed a lot based on feedback that we've gotten from the public on how to better serve the area. As we've been out and talking with folks, we've heard a lot that people here in West Modesto and in South Modesto want to get to these areas here in series and not necessarily go back to Modesto to the northeast part. And so since we didn't have any routes that directly connected the two, we thought, well, that's what we need to do. And as we propose these routes, we've gotten some great feedback on it. So this greenish line, Route 47, comes through West Modesto and then all the way down Hatch, and then connects all the way with the new Walmart in Ceres. The yellow line is Route 42, which kind of exists today in a similar form, but again, found that people in this area are trying to get to other parts of Ceres, we've heard a lot that folks want to get to the Ceres Walmart, the new one, and so that's this area right down here. So these folks here in South Modesto wanting to get here instead of going other places. Route 29, this is the orange line here, serves a lot of what it does today, but then picks up on what Route 15 does today. So following the same route, but still converging here at the Walmart here in Ceres. Route 15, the one that comes from Keys, would also converge here at the Walmart in Ceres, along with the Route 61, this pink line coming from Houston there as well. And that's where we're looking at building the Ceres hub for trans services in the area of the Walmart there in South Ceres. In the interim, we worked with Ceres staff to develop a temporary location for a bus stop there along the street, and it's going to work out just fine. And we'll be able to accommodate 4 to 5 buses. All right, so then we're going to hop over to the east side of Modesto and the Houston area. So we're going to go through these bit by bit here, but this is just the east side of Modesto. So today, Route 61 runs from Modesto down to Waterford and then back through Houston and Ceres. It's a one-way loop, runs every 2 hours. So not great service if you're in Empire and you're trying to get to Modesto. You have to go all the way around the loop to get there. It's an hour and a half. Not great service. And so to improve the service, we are looking to split the route to have bi-directional service on Yosemite, going from Modesto all the way out to Waterford and then back on the same road. So if you're in Empire trying to get to Waterford, you can go that way, or if you're in Empire trying to get to Modesto, you'll catch the bus going that way. The idea here is that we have hourly service, so that won't be every 2 hours. And then additionally on the orange line, we'd have a service going to Houston and back on every hour as well. So people coming from Modesto to Houston can connect. We're actually going to make a slight change though with this orange line. Instead of going right here at Mitchell, I'll actually go left, go down here to the new Walmart and back in. This is just kind of an older map that we're using. Then Route 24, which is an area that this is a new route going from Empire here up to Riverbank. It's a new route serving the east side of Modesto, but also connecting Empire and Riverbank and the Riverbank Shopping Center. One of the things that we learned as we did our outreach is that there are high school students that are walking down Roselle from Riverbank down Roselle to Enoch's High School, right here at the intersection of Roselle and Sylvan, and have been wanting a public transit option. And this route, even though we didn't know that this was going to solve that problem, when we showed it to folks in rural Riverbank, they thought this was the best and would really solve that problem. It also provided lots of other connectivity for folks that in Empire and in Riverbank to get around. Even though the map doesn't show, there are several routes that intersect along that route. So if someone's along that route, they can connect to the rest of the network in Modesto. All right, then going to the west side in Patterson, we have a few routes there. We're not going to change much. We have this yellow line, which is our new Route 45, which we're going to change a bit. Right now, it just comes here to the Patterson Veterans Park, they're in downtown Patterson, and we're going to be extending it all the way to the Walmart there in Patterson as well, to this commercial area, and then it'll go out and then down to Newman. The route today does go to Gustine, and we are proposing to eliminate that part of it. Gustine is actually served by Merced County. It is in Merced County, and actually already served by Merced's transit system. The other route here is this blue line. It's Route 40, which will also today just runs from the Veterans Park back to Modesto, and today we'll just with the expansion just have it keep coming down to the commercial area there as well. Planning on improving these routes to have Sunday service, have them improved to every hour, increase the number of bus stops along this route, and provide a dial-a-ride option as well for people that just live in Patterson. We had an original proposal to actually eliminate the Barth commuter bus that goes from Turlock and Patterson to Barth, but due to a lot of feedback on that, we've we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to keep it, but we're going to try to combine the two routes. We have a Barth commuter bus coming from Modesto, and then the one from one from Patterson. We're looking to combine the two routes so that they actually will meet at the 132 and 580 interchange on the west side, and everybody on one bus will get on the other. And that way, there's only one bus going up and over the Altamont, and we think that will work out just fine for folks. As ridership improves on these routes, then we can easily have two buses go, and that'll allow for that expansion. So the next steps. So at the next board meeting in September, we intend to bring the final report back to the board for consideration with the final service improvements and changes, with the timeline for improvements to be made on February 1st. And so we'll provide all that information. After approval, we'll move forward with the driver run cuts, with driver recruitment and training, as we are intending to add service hours onto the system. We'll continue with the bus acquisition plan, collaborate with maintenance on those needs. We'll finalize the bus stop improvement plan, and we'll complete those short and long range transit plans as well. So like I said, with the fixed route side, we'll plan to implement on February 1st with the initial increase in service hours. We'll phase it in with additional service hours in the next year or two. And then we'll be looking at all the different routes. On the demand response side, we'll be doing some initial changes at the first of the year, especially to implement a new app on that system. But really, we're looking at a complete redesign and restructuring of the demand response system to allow people to make same-day trip requests. And the last slide here, just the community engagement that we'll have at the end of the year to make sure people know about the route changes. We will make sure that people know about them with initial engagements a month or two or three before the changes happen, to make sure that people know that we're on track, and make sure that people know how to use the bus system with any changes. With that, that's just a quick update on the COA, and definitely we'll be coming back with our consultant here in September to give a final update on the COA and where we're at. But it's an exciting time. I'm really excited for the ideas and different route changes that we've had, and I look forward to a lot more improvements in this coming months. And I appreciate the time.
Just a final note on that. What Adam did in the design of this project in taking a full year to do this is it allowed us to really answer one of the crucial questions that came out of the merger of the county and the city together, which is to answer what kind of service is really required. There was a vague understanding that we were underserving populations, that we weren't realizing our potential. We didn't understand how to make transit work at its best in the county. The outcome of this has been so instructive, and taking the time to do several deep dives in working with community interactions and working with our staff, looking at what do we need in facilities now and in the long run? What do we need in our buses now in the long run? What is the operations level? Where are people going? Where are we growing? It really took all of this time to get it, and the board will be able to really, as a result of this, launch the system of the future, and the future, that bottom line of what we need to have. And that's been a very exciting part of being part of this project.
Thank you. Is there any more comment from any of the board?
Yes, Madam Chair. A couple of questions for Adam. And first, thanks to Adam and Angela for putting in a lot of time as we've traveled around and visited all of the community outreaches and the city councils and gotten a lot of feedback. Adam, can you go back to route number 50, please? That slide. The reason I'm going to ask this is we have bandied about a lot of ideas about things that are going to be changing, but not any of it has been posted yet on the website as far as the update. Now, one of the things we had discussed was keeping Hickman on the route, but your map for the Blue Line 50 doesn't show that. Is turning the 50 into Hickman still basically on the table, or has that been dropped?
That has been dropped. The ridership in Hickman is virtually non-existent.
Okay.
And it would take extra time to go out there to Hickman from Waterford, so it has been dropped. And we have not received any comments on that I'm aware of on servicing Hickman and dropping this area.
Okay. Then the second thing we've got to go is to route number 10, which I don't think there was a specific slide for that.
There's not.
On the website, that is still showing as was originally proposed, which was to be a straight express, leave the Modesto terminal and go straight to the transit hub. One of the other ideas that had been bandied about was putting one or two stops, retaining one or two stops in Turlock, like at the shopping center that's on Countryside, and maybe one more stop along Countryside Drive as well. Nothing's been changed online. Is that going to be implemented?
I don't, and as you remember, I just don't.
Yes, we were going to continue with that, and I apologize, Mr. Morrow, it's my fault that hasn't gone up yet. We have been pressing our consultants so hard on the final number crunching on trying to get into more route specifics that they haven't been as productive on the maps, and I didn't want to do an update to the site until we had a full update available for them. That's being remedied and should be up beginning of next week, probably on Monday, to reflect those, so you'll be able to see all those final updates.
Okay,
but we did plan to keep Countryside.
Okay, that's good to know, because when I've been riding the bus, riders have been asking me, hey, what's going on? What are you doing to the number 10 route? And I wanted to make sure I wasn't giving them bad information, that we've gone from version H and now we're on version K.
Right.
And I didn't want to mislead them and then all of a sudden find out, hey, what I've been saying wasn't going to happen. So,
what has been consistent is that we are no longer going to do the loop through town to pick up CSUS, that's part of that partnership with Turlock, is to drop students off there and to be able to use Turlock service to get there.
Okay.
Because of Turlock's agreement with CSUS, that switch, while it may cost a little time, has no fiscal impact on CSU students.
Okay. Otherwise, thanks for the update. It's been a lot of work, and we still got some things to do, but it's looking a lot more positive. And that's all I've got.
Do I have any more comment? I will, seeing none right at the moment, I will open it to the public. Is there any public comment?
There is no public comment at this time.
And I don't see any here. Do we accept the report, or is it's just an update? And thank you, we've come a long way. I think we've come a long way, a little bit faster than I thought we would get there, but there's still always going to be some problems. But I find this new route system very encouraging, because it's an increase in a lot of the routes and a lot of how often they run. And hopefully that'll entice more people to ride the bus. Now we go to information items. There are no information items. CEO's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple things I wanted to share with the board. Maintenance right now is having a little bit of a problem with parts availability, and they haven't had any issues with buses going out of service yet due to parts, but just know that it's kind of out there and it's looming. They've made us aware that parts availability is hard to get, especially with tires and brakes and a couple of other small things. Hasn't created an out-of-service issue yet without having enough buses, but just wanted you to know that it's out there. On that note, we have 12 buses that are being built today at Gillig. Gillig actually shut their plant down for this week due to parts availability as well. So it's not just Modesto. It is an industry-wide issue, and so I just want to make sure that you were aware of that. And if it does become an issue with bus availability, we'll keep you in the loop on that. And then I just had one other thing, because we talked about everything else. I wanted to show a video that we've had produced to help promote the bus, and it's just a minute long, and I wanted to show it off to you. So let me share my screen here. Sure, it's there, and we're good. So hopefully the sound will work. Away we go. Of course, the sound's not working, Tanner. Let me try again, just a moment. Did everything right.
Bonnie and her friends are about to embark on an adventure around Stanislaus County. Their possibilities are endless.
The mall!
The park! The movies! Race you there.
3, 2, 1, go! The S provides 28 routes to 15 different cities. Youth 18 and under ride the S services free all day, every day. Mobility independence on the S increases responsibility, physical exercise, self-esteem, and fun. Lots of fun.
Where's Trevor?
I should have rode the S.
Start your own adventure on the S. Visit www.StanRTA.org to learn more.
It's just a fun video that we'll get on our social media channels and other places as well. Just fun to get people and youth, especially involved on the bus, get them on the bus, get them used to riding the bus. It is free for any youth to ride, and this is one of three different videos that we'll have that we're producing now, and all kind of have a fun flavor to it. So just wanted to show that off to you today. But that's all I had, Madam Chair. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any directors that have any comments or reports? Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting at 2:27.